Hello and welcome to my PHP tutorial. Today we're going to talk about objects and what objects are. Objects are an instance of a class. What's a class? A class is basically a blueprint or a template of a script. And every time you make an instance of that template or blueprint, it's called an object. Why are objects important in any programming language? It is important because it promotes the reuse of code. It also promotes polymorphism. Um, so let's start with an example so you can get an idea of what exactly I'm talking about. I'll show you first the structure of a class. That's really all you need to make a class. Use a keyword class, the name of your class, and the curly braces where you're going to put all your functions. But when a function is inside of a class, they are called methods. It's really just a function, but in the context of a class, it's called a method. Same thing with variables. You could, when the variables are set in a class, they're called properties. Um, so you have to be very aware of this, the nomenclature used when something like functions are used within a class. Let's set a property for this class. So that is a property of the class. A property is just a variable that's going to be used in the class. You have different levels of accessibility for methods and properties. You have private. Private only allows you to use those methods and properties within that class. Public allows you to use the properties and methods anywhere. Um, so that's very, very important about a class in PHP. Let's start with our first method. First, we start by adding this. And so, like any function, in PHP, you first use a keyword function, the name of the function, in this case the method, parentheses here to pass any arguments to the function, and the block of code that's going to be executed when this function or method is called. That's really it. If you don't specify the accessibility of a method in a class, by default it's set to private, but you could specify that by doing that. So now this method is publicly available. In this example, let's leave it private. Okay, so what happens if we run this class? Nothing. You can see down here, there's nothing, because there there isn't an instance of the class yet. It's kind of like a function in PHP. You create a function first, but if you don't call the function's not going to do anything. And like functions that you build in PHP, you have to, these are good practices, return something. Let's, for this example, return true. Okay. So let's do something with this class here and have it return something. Okay, so now I want to access that method inside this class. And the way I do that is by creating an instance of this class, and that is an object. So we start with a variable, and this could be any variable. Think of this as a handle for the instance of that class. So for this example, I'm going to use a variable object, or obj, which is short for object, and we're going to use the keyword new. This means we're going to create a new instance of the class, my class. Okay, and we specify the class we want to use, which is my class, and that's it. So now I've made an object of an instance of the class, and that's considered an object. So what happens if I save that and I run that? Absolutely nothing. Because now I have to dig deeper into that class and specify the method that I want to use from that class. So the way we do that is by using that same variable that we set to create a new object out of the class, and use this little arrow symbol here. This arrow symbol lets you specify the method inside the class. And the option I have here for my IDE is the method called this is my method, and you could see that up here. So if I were to click that and then run it, what's going to happen? Nothing. Well, and the reason is because I'm returning just true, which would really just be a 1. In this case, let's have it return variable that holds the string, this is my method. I run it, and nothing happens. Why is that? Because you're not having the method print out anything. So you could do two things. You could actually come up here and echo it from here, click save, and then you would see that string here. This is not the best way to do things. The best way to do it is have a return. And upon that return, you could, on an object level, echo out the contents of that method. And in this case, we get this is my method. So that's how that works. All right, that's it for now. Thank you for watching. If you have any more questions like that about this, please go to my website, www.evinw.com. Thank you.